Hi, good morning everyone. How are you? I hope you are fine. So, let's start with the session. In the last class, we have also studied about the revision of the procedure language, that is, what are the C processors or what are the various C preprocessor that is available for the C processing, or what are the various ways by which we can get into the output. Now, next part is the array. So, let's start with the next chapter, that is today's topic, chapter number 8, arrays. That is, what are the arrays? Then there is a simple program that is using the arrays, then more on the array, that is the array initialization, bound checking, passing the array elements to a function, then pointers to an array, or what are the various pointers that is used, then how the array will be used, then passing an entire array to a function, then real thing. Then after this there is a two-dimensional array, initializing a two-dimensional array, how it is used, why it is used. Yes. What is the two-dimensional array? What are the various memory map of the two-dimensional array, pointers in the two-dimensional array, then pointer to an array, how to use the array with the pointer, then passing a 2D array to a function. That is how to pass a 2D array to a function. Then arrays of the pointers, three-dimensional array, and the summary. So these are the various topics of the arrays that is available. Now let's start with the first one, that is the array. What is the array? That is a contiguous location of the memory, contiguous location of the content that is available in the memory. C language provides a capability that enables the user to design a set of the similar data type that is known as array. And this also describes how the array are declared, how the array can be created and manipulated in the C. And we should also note that many C language and course uses the array and the pointer that is separately, because array and the pointer are two different things that we are going to use in on a separate basis. One is the array, one is the pointers. Now let's start with the array. So for understanding the array properly, let us consider the program, or this is the main program that is considered. This is the main function, then int I or int x, then x equals to 5, x equals to 10. So we are initializing the variable of the or values of the variable x as a 5 and the 10. Now, next is printf x equals to percentage t x. So this is printf, or that is printing the percentage of the printing the content with the printf, then x. That means we are printing with the values. No doubt this program will print the value of x as a 10. Why so? Because when value 10 is assigned to the x, the earlier value of the x, that is 5, is lost. Because now we're getting the value as a 10. Earlier we're getting the values as a 5. So when the value of the 10 is assigned to the x, so when the value 10 is assigned to the x, the earlier value of the x, that is 5, is lost. Therefore, the ordinary variables, the one which have been used so far, are capable of holding only one value at a time, as in the above example. However, there are many situations in which we want to store more than one value at a time in a single variable. That is also possible. Suppose we wish to arrange the percentage marks obtained by the 100 student in ascending order. In that case, we have two options to store these marks in memory. Construct 100 variables to show or store the percentage marks obtained by 100 different students. That is, each variable containing one student mark. That means we are using. That means we are giving the 100 variable A1, A2, A3 till A100. Another option is construct only one variable, that is known as array or the subscript variable, capable of storing or holding all the 100 values. That means, for example, A, then there is a square bracket, 100 square bracket close. So that means 100 values are stored in a variable A. Obviously, the second alternative better one, because the simple reason is that it must be very easier to handle one variable than rather than handling 100 variable. Because if I have to write 100 variable, there's a mistake of writing using the comma, semicolon, whatever. So instead of writing 100 different variable, we are using A100. And moreover, there are certain logic that cannot be dealt with without the use of the array. Now a formal definition of an array. So what is the array? So an array is a collective name given to a group of the similar quantities. So it is a collective name that is given to a group of the similar quantities, and these similar quantities that is available, that is used for the passing or the percentage of the 100 student, or the salaries of the 300 employees, or the ages of the 50 employees. That means there are simple quantities or the similar quantities that is available or there are similar quantities that is available for the 100 student, or the salary of the 300 employees, or the ages of the 500 or the 50 employees that is used. So what is important is that quantities must be similar. So that is important is that the quantities must be similar for this one, and each and every member in the group is referred to by the position in the group. So what is the position that is used for the group? So each and every member is referred to the position in the group. For example, when you assume the following group of the number which represent the percentage marks obtained by the 5 students, that is per equals to 48, 88, 34, 23 and the 96. So these are the 5 numbers, or the 5 percentage marks that is available, or that is used in the percentage marks, right? Now if I refers to these variable, if I want to arrange in the array, so we are using per, then there is a square bracket 3. So we are using as a per, then there is a variable 3 for holding the value. So now one important thing is that PER1, or we can say the arrays, always starts with the 0. So it starts with a 0, then there is a 1, then there is a 2. So if I'm talking about the per 3, that means there are 3 variables, or there are 3 values that is stored in this that starts with a 0. So now 0 index value has a 48, then 1 index value has a 88, then 2 index value has a 34, 3, 23. This is 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. That means in totality there are four numbers that is stored, and per 3 means there are 3 numbers, or that there are 4 values that is arranged in this one, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. Now per 3 refers to 23, per 4 refers to 96. Why? 3 means from 0 to the 4. So I can take a value, as I said, that ranges from the 0, 1, 2 and 3, 4. So this range from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, that depends on the position of the element that has been referred. And one important thing is that array consists of either all of the ints, floats or the chars. That depends on the scenario. And when we combine multiple characters, that is known as a string. So that array of the characters is known as strings. Now this is a simple program that shows how to use the arrays to find out the average percentage marks obtained by the class of 30 students in a test. Now Joseph, can you tell me what is this? This is available in the asterisk slash, this is a slash asterisk. So what is the meaning of this line? Yeah, very good. This is the comments. That means we are giving the comment that is not executed on the command, or that is not executed in the C language, but they are only giving for the reference of the student or reference of the teacher, whatever that is used. That is the array declaration. This is the reference. This is the main. Then int avg sum equals to 0, int I, int marks 30. For I equals to 0, I is less than 29, I plus plus. Then sum equals to sum plus mark size. This reads the data from an array. Then average equals to avg equals to sum divided by 30. So we are using the avg equals to sum divided by 30, that is printf average marks equals to percentage d avg. This is int avg sum equals to 0. We are declaring two variable, that is average avg and sum equals to 0. Then int I, next variable is int I, then int marks 30. Now marks is the array variable, that is array declaration of the 30, that starts with a 0, ends with the 29. Now this is the for loop that starts with a 0, ends with a 29. Now this is printf, enter the mark. So you have to enter the mark. This is printed as it is. Now marks are entered, or marks are stored in the memory in the marks I. First of all, it takes the value as 0, then 1, 2 till 29, because this is I is less than equals to 29. Then this is for the calculation part. So this is sum equals to sum plus marks I. So this is used as a marks I, that is as the 0 element. This is used. Then whatever the output that is available in the sum variable. For example, now this sum variable has a value 0. So this is 0 plus 1, 0 plus 2, 0 plus 3. So whatever the values, whatever the variable that is given, that is used over here. So this is sum equals to sum plus marks I. So this is at the zeroth element, whatever the data that is available at the zeroth element that is available with the sum or that is used with the sum. So next is a simple program that is used with the array. So this is int main or int a, which is sum equals to 0, int I, int marks 30. For I equals to 0, I is less than 29, enter the marks. This is scanf marks I equals to 0, I is less than 29, I plus plus. This is sum equals to sum plus marks I. This is getting the sum equals to sum plus marks I. Then average equals to sum by 30 now. Taking the average, that is average equals to sum divided by 30. Whatever the output of the sum, that is divided by 30, that gives the average. Now there's a printf average marks equals to AVG. So this is average marks that is given, that is AVG. Now there is a lot of the new material in this program, so we were part to take it very slowly. Now first part is array declaration. So to begin with, like any other variable on the array, one needs to be declared so that the compiler will know what kind of an array and how large an array we want. In our program, we have done this, the statement, whatever the statement that is used. So this is the int marks 30. Int specifies the type of the variable just as we does with the ordinary variable, and the word mark specifies the name of the variable. The 30, however, is new. The number 30 tells how many elements of the type int will be in our array. Then this number is often known as the dimension of the array. And the bracket, that is a square bracket, tells the compiler we are dealing with an array. So this tells the compiler whatever or we are dealing with the array. Now how to access the elements of an array. So once the array is declared, let's see how individual elements or what are the various element that is used with the array. This is done with the subscript, the number in the brackets following the array name. The number specifies the array position in the array. All the array elements are starting or numbering with the 0. That is marks 2 is not the second element of the array, but the third. In our program, we are using the variable I as the subscript. It refers to the various elements of the array. That is also possible with the variable name with the variable data. So if I want to access the elements of the array, that is how we can access the element that is used. So this is the entering the data into the array. So this is a section of the code that describes or that places the data into the array. That is for I equals to 0, I less than 29, I plus plus. This is printf, enter the mark. This is scanf percentage %t marks I. The for loop also causes the process of asking for and receiving a student marks from the user to repeat it 30 times, and the first time to the loop I has a value 0. So the scanf function will cause a type to be stored to the array elements mark 0, the first element of the array. This process will be repeated until I becomes 29, and this is the last time that is used with the 29. That starts with a 0, then goes up to the 29, that is total 30 elements are used. And in scanf function, we have used the address of operator, that is ampersand operator on the elements marks I of the array, just as we have used it earlier on the other variable, that is ampersand thread. For example, in doing so, we are passing the addresses of the pointer. That means we are passing the address by using the scanf. Next is how to read the data. One is how to provide the input or how to get the, or we can store the values into the array. Now next is how to provide the or how to read the data from the array. So this is for I equals to 0, I is less than equals to 29, I plus plus. This is sum equals to sum plus marks I. One is for entering the data or taking out the data from the array. One is reading the data from an array. This is I equals to 0, I is less than 29, I plus plus. This is sum equals to sum plus marks. This is AVG equals to sum by 30. Sum is divided by the 30 for this one. Now what is a function? What is the criteria for the array? So array is a collection of the similar elements that is used. The first element in the arrays is numbered as a 0. So the last element is 1 less than the size of the memory. Then array is also known as the subscript variable. And before using an array, its type and dimension must be declared. However big an array, its elements, that is elements are stored in the contiguous memory location. This is very important point when we want to discuss in more detail in this one. Now, what are the various criteria or what are the more in the array? So one is the array initialization that is used. So this int num6 equals to 1 2 3 4 5. Then int n equals to 2 4 5 15. Then float press. This is 12.3 and so on till the memory. Now next is array elements in the memory. What are the various array elements in the memory? Now consider the following program or array declaration. This is int array 8. This is what we make this declaration. This gets immediately reserved in the memory, 2 bytes each for the 8 integers that will occupy the 32 bits. that will occupy the 4 bits also or 4 bytes also, and since the array is not been initialized, all 8 values present in that are garbage values. This so happens because the storage class of this array is assumed to be auto. It's assumed to be auto, and if the storage class is declared to be static, then all the array elements would have a default initial value as a 0. And whatever be the initial values, all the array elements would always be present in the contiguous memory location, and this arrangement is shown as above. This is 6550A, 110, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 and 22.